On the Point with Jesse T. from some undisclosed location somewhere in the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Jesse T.
Well, it's good to be back with you. The Brown Beauty is back on duty. Hey, it's the Jesse T show right here as we come to the end of the week, not too far away from what's going to turn out to be a great weekend here weather-wise in Southern California. Another beautiful day in paradise. Good to have you along with me on the air and everywhere from the community to the world. We are broadcasting live on KTNT Radio and TV, Broadcasting Podcasting Network. That's right. We are on 23 social media sites, of course, on Instagram Live at Jesse Torero, right over here to my left, and on Facebook.com/Jesse Torero on my right, and right here in front of you on Facebook.com/The Power of Voices, as well as building and getting even more videos and subscribers onto our YouTube site. We've got to really push those views up. It's free, and it's a great site. There's a lot of other videos on there other than the Jesse T Show. Lots of cool stuff that we've done over the years, and we're starting to load up a lot of stuff. I think there's a couple hundred videos on there now already, but we're going to load more and more and more of the wild and crazy things that we do out in the street and out and about with Dan the Man and yours truly, the Brown Beauty on duty, Jesse Torero. Good to say that, and good to say hello and how you doing, and hopefully you're having a great day. Boy, it is beautiful here in Southern California today. These days after we have a rain or any kind of cloudy day in the Los Angeles area on the Pacific Coast are so crisp. The clouds are gone, the sky is blue, and the air is clean. And that lasts for about 24 hours. And then all of a sudden, it starts filtrating back in. I think one of the worst places to live in all of Southern California is the Inland Empire. I used to work at a couple of radio stations out there, 99.1 KGGI, KMEN, and KFXM, just to name a few of the stations I worked out there, and that was the melting pot of all smog, I believe, in the whole wide world. That's right. The smog would lay in there from the desert winds coming from Palm Springs, from the ocean winds coming from the ocean, and it wouldn't get over those 10,000-foot high mountains of the Los Angeles National Forest, and it would just sit and bake right there in San Bernardino. Yes, the glorious place to live, where you don't have to have a big screen TV to see any CSI programs. Just sit on your porch and crack a Dr. Pepper, and you can watch the cops and robbers play. Yes, I'm telling you. But here in the Southland, near the ocean, where we like to be in an undisclosed location today, it is a beautiful day here in Southern California. It's good to have you along. Start chiming in now on Facebook.com/Jesse Torero and Instagram Live at Jesse Torero, so we can kind of relate to you and see what's going on and see what's happening in your world. Now, we got a lot to talk about today. We are going to have a special guest probably next week, a couple of them. We're going to discuss the O.J. Simpson thing that he did on TV this last week, the big video where he basically copped to the crime. There's double jeopardy. It's a hypothetical, but we're going to just brief on that. I'm going to bring in a couple of terrific detectives, one detective and an author we've had on the show before. They're going to be back with us for maybe about 15 or 20 minutes, so we're going to kind of see what their take on that is. And also, we are going to have an attorney next week talk about something really important, and that's all the lawsuits that are about to begin down in Florida for the complete breakdown of what government was supposed to do and protect us in a gun-free zone. Yeah, right. When you start turning your rights of liberties over to government, they can never protect you. The only thing they can do is harm you, come in with big giant mops, and clean up the mess later as glorified janitors. So we'll be talking about an attorney who's been studying this, and she's a trial attorney. She's going to explain the whole situation and her point of view of this as as well. And actress Kira Moon is going to be checking in next week. And Kira Moon's a terrific model and a young actress, and we had her on the show a couple of months ago, maybe about 8 weeks ago, but we had some technical difficulties. She went to our wrong location. She went to our offices in Burbank instead of to the studio here in by Sony Studios in Los Angeles. So she's going to be checking in live in person. You're going to love her energy and all the things that she's doing as far as modeling and stuff. She's of just a ferocious, fun, packed-filled energy. She's like the Tasmanian devil, you know, touching down everywhere. Hey, saying hi to some people are starting to check in right now. Leah Pranda is checking in. Thanks a lot, Leah. Appreciate that. So today, we're going to take a little break, and we're just going to cover a whole bunch of stuff. You're going to enter the world according to Torero. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoo. Yes, that's right. Sorry. I'm getting ready for my training here tonight. Yeah, it's the sun's up an hour later, so I get to train outside a little more, get to run, get to jump, get to climb. I get to act like a 12-year-old, right? Hey, that's the beautiful thing about this Spartan training. You know, I got to get another one of these. You hear this? Yeah, I got to get another one of these medals here, and I'm so excited about this. I'll be running in Chicago, my hometown. Got to grab up another one of these medals right here. You know, these are so cool. Spartan medals. I mean, this was for a 5.2 mile run, 21 obstacles. So I'm hypnotizing all of you to start working out. Follow the Spartan warrior mask. Hypnotizing you. Start working out. Get your heart in shape. Start working out. Work out. Now that I have you hypnotized under the Torero spell, I'm going to ask you all for $25. $25. Send it to my P.O. box. That's right, $25. Is it working? That's what I figured. I'm going to get $25 from somebody at some point. I don't know who. Yeah, I work in $25 increments now. So anyway, we're getting ready for our Chicago race there. Saying hi to Isabella Munoz, who's checking us out on Facebook.com/Jesse Torero. Thanks a lot, Isabel. And Chicago race, Spartan race. I'm looking forward to that. And then I've got a race down in San Jose coming up here real soon, so I'm getting ready for that one. And then I have one in December. I might do one somewhere around, the Chicago one is in June. I've got one coming up here at the end of March. If I can make that one. It's just awful busy right now in the real estate world. And then we have one in December. So I'm going to try to slip one more in there. So I'm training hard, running and working out. If you look on my Facebook page, I was in the gym last night, like from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I don't know. Am I like a cuckoo for coconuts here? Is there something wrong with me? Am I just insane in the membrane? Maybe I might just be insane in the membrane. I think, you know, I just think sometimes I'm in there by myself. I'm the only one in there. And, you know, it's kind of cool to be working out at night when you are the only one in there. But, you know, I sometimes say to myself, man, what am I doing? What am I doing here? You know, seriously, what am I doing? It's like I should be home sleeping and having wild sex. But no, not Jesse T. No. Jesse T's got to be up working out, training, and I come out and it's pouring rain, and I still run with a 100-pound gravel bag across my shoulders here, a mile and a half a mile with a 80-pound, 5-gallon filled of 80 pounds of gravel. I really think that I probably am a little bit twisted. Maybe like that song Twisted Sister. Remember Twisted Sister back in the 80s? That crazy guy with the blonde hair and he had makeup on and he was Twisted Sister. I used to love to play that song. That was a big hit when I was at in Santa Barbara working at the KIST AM radio. That was a giant hit. And we're going to be talking about the radio business here in just a second as part of one of the things I'm going to be talking about. But, you know, I just really think that I have just gone bonkers. You know, I really have. I've just kind of gone bonkers. You know, I think that Jesse T sometimes needs a little bit of help, don't you think? Yeah. I think that I probably need some sort of help because I just kind of gone insane in the membrane, you know? Yeah. This is my new anthem. Cypress Hill, KTNT. One on the plan, boy, it's just like a stuff that hand in the frying pan. Done, but I come and plan. Yeah, I feel like this one is bad. Don't make me right. Take that tell me no one I can go a and I like something. I'm thinking it's all over when I go out drinking. Oh, my mind's slow. That's why I go from the big part. Bro, I got to maintain. Everybody now. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the membrane. I think whether it sounds good or bad, it doesn't matter. That's my lead song, man. I'm gonna start. That's gonna be my lead song. Jesse Torero, "Insane in the Membrane" by Cypress Hill. That's it. Yep, we're gonna get a really good copy of that. We're gonna start playing that. That's right. That's the definition of yours truly. Well, we're entering the world of Torero today. Yes, the world according to Torero. I'm going to put you straight on the point. So let's get going right here. Now, what is going wrong with our society? Seriously, have we just gone insane in the membrane as a society? I mean, we have just gone off the rocker. The world is upside down. Everything is opposite what it normally should be in what has normally been called normal. And my observations over the last 35 or 40 years is that we've had a slow drip like water that dissolves a granite rock over millions of years. We've had a slow drip of people that had logic and common sense, courtesy and manners, and knew things were a certain way, and that was the normal way of life. But over the last 40 years, it's kind of been drip, 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 to the point where the bucket of weight has changed, and the world is upside down now. They're talking about this magnetic shift in the magnetism of the world, where the north is going to be south and the south is going to be north. It's happened a whole bunch of times. It's an electromagnetic shift of the magnetism of the earth, and it happens all the time. It starts at the core and the molten rock, and it shifts. And they're saying we're going through this shift right now. Scientists are saying this, and I think that it's affecting human beings, because why do people want to be something other than what they are? This I don't understand. I've never quite been able to understand why men want to be girls and why girls want to be men. I just, that I've had to accept that, which is very hard for me. I have to admit this to you. It's a very hard thing for me to accept that there are little boys out there that have penises that want to be girls, and there are girls out there that have female genitalia, but they want to be boys. And there are those females that want to dress up like guys, and those males that want to dress up like girls, but they don't want to go through the whole thing. And there are men that want to live as women, and women that want to live as men. You see, I just could never accept that as common. I can't accept that as an acceptable pattern of behavior. I can't accept that as normal. I'm sorry. I just can't. Now, I accept it because they are humans and they have a right to feel and do what it is that they want to do with their bodies and themselves, as long as they don't harm anybody else and restrict anybody else from feeling about the way they feel about themselves. I've had to accept that in our politically correct charged society for the last 35 or 40 years. But I don't agree with it, and I don't believe in it. And but I'll defend somebody's right to be what they want to be, even though I can't adhere to that kind of philosophy at all. Okay? Now, saying that, that's tough enough for me. But there's a story that came out today, and I'm sorry. It just makes me laugh. These stories used to be regulated to the National Enquirer magazine or newspaper when you were at the grocery store, right? Or these stories used to be that of a radio program, the Dr. Demento show or something like that when I was growing up. But now they're going mainstream, and there are people that actually find this serious. I mean, there's no other way to get into this but just to tell you that a trans-species man abandons his family to live naked in the forest as a squirrel. I'm sorry. I'm laughing so hard I forgot to put my tooth in. Oh, man, I feel like an irony pirate from the Irony Coast, right? Oh, and what they're doing to Disneyland now. That's something. We're going to talk about that. But trans-species man and it's almost like trans-species man abandons family to live naked in the forest as a squirrel. Now, this is dead serious. A man who describes himself as an animal stuck inside a human body has decided to abandon his wife and children to live the life of a squirrel in the woods. I wonder what he's going to do when he's got to find some nuts. When he's got to bury his nuts because he's got to have them for the winter time. Oh, my Lord. Oh, what's the world coming to? I have a hard enough time accepting the other to accept this. I just, hi vey. A man who describes himself as an animal stuck in a human body has abandoned his wife and children to live like a squirrel. Well, why couldn't you live at least live like a buffalo, man? Live like a wolf, live like a grizzly bear, a lion, live like a black panther, live like a wolverine, right? Live like not a squirrel, part of the rodent family. I mean, was this guy peering out his back window one day at his home on a Sunday, contemplating very important things, and all of a sudden a beautiful brown and red squirrel run by his window on the tree branch, and he goes, let me see that. Wow. I love the bushy tail. Oh, Lord help me. Alan Myers, an electrician and father of two, from Dyserburg in Tennessee. Oh, it's got to be someone in the South. Oh, yeah, it has to be, of course. Has always described himself as a squirrel stuck in a man's body, and has been I'm going to try to get through this, and has been for years a militant of the trans-species movement. Mr. Myers has diagnosed with a condition called clinical lycanthropy, a rare psychiatric syndrome that involves a delusion that the affected person can transform into what is a non-human animal. Despite his condition, he has always lived a rather normal life until last week when he decided to abandon his job and jump out on the tree limb of the giant oak tree in his backyard, take all his clothes off, and start acting like a squirrel in the tree, chasing his nuts, and living naked in the forest last seen, running after female squirrels. Oh, his wife Joanna says her husband's delusion was spontaneous and unexpected, even if he talked about being a squirrel for years. He's always said he felt like a squirrel stuck in a human body and kept hiding food around the house, but I never thought he would abandon us. She also fears for his health since temperatures are extremely cold at this time in Tennessee. He goes around running naked in the woods and chewing bark off frozen fruits. He could really get sick or die. The trans-species movement has gained in popularity in recent years, and an increasing number of cases of people choosing to live as animals have attracted the attention of the media over recent years. According to experts, only a small portion of those like Mr. Myers actually suffer from medical conditions explaining their lifestyle, while others choose to live this way. A man convinced he was a pelican attracted some attention on the issue last year after he jumped off a 45-story building and died in New Jersey. Thinking he could fly. According to official statistics, between 3,000 to 5,000 Americans consider themselves to be trans species. Oh, my goodness. Well, Squirrel Man was last seen jumping across the street like a deer in the headlights. A Mack truck squished his nuts and cut off his tail. News at 11. I don't know what the world's coming to, guys. I'm serious. I mean, really? A guy like this is just as bad. I came across this one, and Art Johnson's with me. Thanks a lot, Art Johnson. Also, Masamiya Sakurura. I came across this one the other day, and what is our world coming to? Seriously, what is our world coming to? We got a guy who likes to live like a squirrel, naked, running in the forest, and has shed his lifestyle, left his two kids and his wife at home, and now he runs around the forest naked. So, by the way, if you see some guy running around your neighborhood naked in the forest, don't worry about it. He's not a pervert. He's not a deviant. He's Squirrel Man. That's right. He's a guy who likes to act and live the life as a squirrel, because a squirrel has always been tucked away in his heart. So don't worry. But what about this one? Oh, you're going to love this one, guys. You see, what is our world coming to? Seriously. We have gone completely insane in the membrane. That's what we've done. We have gone 100% insane in the membrane. It's like, here we go. Cypress Hill.
Work on the plan, boy, you just want to stuff that ham in the frying pan. I swear it's done when I come and slam. Yeah, I feel like the sun is
insane.
The lights are blinking, I'm thinking it's all over when I go.
Hey, everybody.
Oh. That's why I don't with the big boy. Bro, I got to maintain. Like me, if you're one insane, insane in the membrane.
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 Insane in the membrane. I'm telling you, we have gone completely insane in the membrane. Okay, I think Americans have just gone off the deep end. I just there's something wrong with us now. The newest story comes out right after that one. KTNT Radio and TV reporting. Boy, is this a scheme? Is this fake or is this for real? You guys got to help me figure this one out. It's called Baby Drop-Off Box. I'm sorry. After the guy running around the forest naked acting like a squirrel, now we have a baby drop-off box? It's like returning your books back to the library, or those of you that remember the overnight deposits at the bank when you had to open up the thing and drop off the deposit in the big vault out front, right? Or the video. Remember when we bought videos and we could return the videos to the video stores at night by shooting it through the mail chute. Sometimes they had this special little box and shoot. Now we got baby drop-off box. Oh, okay. Yes, this is crazy, guys, and they're calling this something safe. They're calling this it's something safe, okay, and it's an amazing thing, and this isn't fake news. Now, this is in northeastern Indiana, okay. It's the first baby drop-off box for unwanted newborns and I mean, where has our idea of parenting gone? Seriously, we have baby drop-off box in Indiana, northeastern Indiana. So if you have a baby and they were just born, you know, out comes the baby, out comes the baby, right? You can drive this baby, open up this box in the side of this building, and roll the baby down this box into this building. And it's called the Indiana Safe Haven Baby Box. Yeah, really. I am not lying, guys. I am not lying. We have gone, I'm telling you, we have just gone insane in the membrane. We have just gone insane in the membrane. That's all there is to it. Okay, I've given up on humanity. I think I've just completely given up on humanity. Oh, imagine all the babies that are going to be dropped off in the middle of the night at the Safe Haven Baby Drop-Off Box in northeastern Indiana. Wow. Okay. So I come across this article, of course, you know, California students, like 1 million of them turned out. They didn't go to school yesterday, and they were all touting how wonderful this was, the democratic process, especially the left-wing lunatics here in California. Oh, my goodness. You know, they have the right to say what they want to say, and they protest, and it's a good thing that they learn how to protest and all that stuff, you know. I think these kids were I think most of these kids were dropped off at the northeastern Indiana baby drop-off box after their dads had always wanted to be a squirrel because they knew that they were trans species and they had squirrel intentions inside their heart, so they took off all their clothes and were last seen traipsing through the Canadian and Rockies naked, running and acting like a squirrel, like Squirrel Man in Tennessee. Because these California students, first off, okay, as far as I'm concerned, they all broke the law. Right? As far as I'm concerned, they should all be arrested and thrown in jail for a week. I don't care if there was a million of them. Then incarcerate them out in the middle of the desert with giant circus tents and filtrate them through the next 3 months through the prison and jail system in California, and let them hang out for 3 days in prison with prisoners, because that's what these kids are. Because many of them turn violent. I've seen at least a dozen violent scenes because all these people, these stupid punk thug kids that are so twisted that they go out there and protest. Now, granted, a lot of them just figured, hey, it's a day off, I might as well leave. You know something? My children wouldn't have done that. They would have stayed in class, because you don't do that. You don't leave school, to protest something like that and violence. You just don't do that. And here's the thing. Look, I'm going to read this to you, because this is pretty amazing. In terms of what took place here. It's amazing because these kids were violent. Violence and violence and violence. And many of them were throwing rocks, destroying public property, damaging vehicles in their anti-gun walkout. Now, go figure. You're protesting violence with violence. I don't know. That doesn't seem to make sense to me. Does that make sense to you, to protest violence with violence? See, there you go. See, my point is made clearly here. And so is the NRA. Guns do not kill people. See, mentally insane people don't even kill people most of the time. It's a very rare thing. But drug-crazed, psychopathic, insane in the membrane human beings kill people. Poor parenting, poor values, poor and disgusting rat fink kids that are stuck out on drugs, that follow the crowd like sheeple, that see nothing but violence from birth in the games they play, the cartoons, use profanity, the sexual promiscuity on the internet, without any proper parenting or control, enabling coddling parents that have no idea of discipline, no love, then no caring, selfish adults that are more thoughtful about their prized toys, like their, RV and their big 72-inch or 96-inch screen TV, and their fancy shoes and fancy $30,000 watch, right? This liberal thinking on abortion, drugs, relationship, alcohol, this is what lives to these bitchy kids from hell. Plus the corporations, the banks, the religious centers, the corrupt Democrats especially, and Republicans, professional politician criminals, that's all they are. The very lax laws in our country for teen discipline, and the fact nobody seems to give a flying rat's ass about anything anymore, that's what leads to murderous violence in young people. These scumbag children getting out of school, that's right. And they're protesting violent, gun, murdering, ravenous, carnivorous pieces of low-life buffalo dung human beings with violent acts themselves. They should all be thrown in jail for a week. Let's see how tough they really are. Poor parenting, guys. See, this is what's happened to our society, is we've lost our way in my lifetime. of discipline and common sense and logic. We lost our way. We've allowed the government, the state, the county, the city, the school, the athletic team, the church to raise our children. We've put that on somebody else instead of putting it on ourselves. And those same entities have taken away from parenting, discipline. They've gone way too far. Made things too easy. It's just amazing to me that we don't think about this stuff. And this stuff is what's going to happen in the future, because these young people are going to inherit this planet in about 15 to 20 years. And you, if like me, are still living here, we're going to have to deal with these young people that themselves are insane in the membrane, because they are absolutely insane in the membrane. Just like everybody else that I've been talking about here today. It's an amazing thing that we have allowed our society to shrink, right, to this.
Attack your ass like a looter in a riot. Fight back like a sumo, slamming that ass, leaving your face in the grass. You know, I don't take a dulo lightly. Don't just tell it cause it can't outright you. Hit that style, where it wild. Happy face, you can never see me smile. Work that mainframe, I'll explain. A nigga like me is going insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the membrane.
And Cypress Hill says it right there so beautifully in that series of lyrics there about obesity and about profanity. They say it right there. It's driven them insane in the membrane from childhood on. It's just amazing what has happened in this world. And then you have the craziness of this idea that Donald Trump is a bad, crazy man president. I guess you guys never read his book, Art of a Deal. I think that most people that I come across haven't read his book, Art of a Deal. If you pick up his book, Art of the Deal, and you read that book right now, you will see exactly what Donald Trump is doing. It is the art of the deal. He is a deal maker. That's what he does. He uses every tactic at his disposal to make a deal. The best deal he can make. The best deal for the American people. All the things that he does always ends up in a compromise, in a compromising deal, if you notice. It never just ends in something that's totally one-sided. It always ends up in a compromising deal. And so you have to ask yourself, if you really understand what he's about, then you have to understand he's a businessman who makes deals. This is what he's doing. Look at, he got Kim Ong-Yang, Young Wang Yang Nang Ping Gong, Rocket Boy, to the table through strength and negotiation. Twittering is just part of a negotiation tactic that he uses. It's part of the deal. This is what he does. And you guys apparently didn't read his book because he's doing Art of the Deal. We're watching it unfold in front of us. But yet we really forget about corruption that really has taken place. They haven't been able to pin any corruption on this guy, President Trump. No collusion, which isn't illegal anyway. But they haven't been able to pin anything on Donald Trump. And they have spent a year and millions and millions and millions and millions of taxpayer dollars. And they have spent year, maybe 2 years now, if you count the pre-election stuff, to try to connect him in an adverse, bad way. They haven't been able to do anything. And they're not going to be able to do anything because he hasn't done anything that wasn't illegal. But it's a smear campaign on him. Instead of looking at the real corruption, like the Obama presidency for 8 years, and I could talk about that for hours, or the Clinton cartel for 35 years since Arkansas. Well, let me just explain something to you. All right, this is really shady stuff, and there's no other way to deal with this except to come straight at it. There's a new book out. It's by Peter Schweizer, and I'm going to get Peter on the program. Now, Peter Schweizer has got a new book called Secret Empires: How the American Political Class Hides Corruption and Enriches Families and Friends. Okay? All right? And it's really something. He says in his book, is not that the solid reporting on Trump has been too tough, but that the reporting on the Obama administration has been way too soft, or in some cases non-existent. Now, he's the author who wrote a book called The Clinton Cash in 2016, where he traced all the Clinton cash. Now, this is amazing, and I'm going to blow through this pretty darn quick, so you got to follow with me, okay? Joe Biden and John Kerry have been pillars of the Washington establishment for more than 30 years. Biden is one of the most popular politicians in our nation's capital. His demeanor, sense of humor, and even his friendly gaffes have allowed him to form close relationships with both Democrats and Republicans. His public image is built around his lunch bucket Joe persona. As he reminds the American people on regular occasions, he has little wealth to show for his career, despite having reached the vice presidency of the United States of America. One of his closest political allies in Washington is former Senator and former Secretary of State John Kerry. Lunch Bucket Joe, he ain't. Kerry is more partisan than earthy. But the two men became close while serving for several decades together in the U.S. Senate. The two often talked on matters on foreign policy, according to John Wickover in his Biden biography. So their sons going into business together in 2009 was not exactly something that wasn't going to happen. But with whom their sons cut lucrative deals while the elder two were steering the ship of the United States of America in the state is more of a surprise. What Hunter Biden, the son of America's vice president, and Christopher Heinz Ketchup, the stepson of the chairman of the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, later to be Secretary of State, were creating was an international private equity firm. It was anchored by the Heinz family, alternative investment fund called Rosemont Capital. Oh, man, it's going to get real thick here, guys. Okay, the new firm would be populated by political loyalists and positioned to strike profitable deals overseas with foreign governments and officials with whom the United States government was negotiating with. Oh my goodness, are you talking about collusion or what? Hunter Biden, Vice President Joe Biden's youngest son, had gone through a series of business jobs out of law school, graduating in '96, starting hedge fund businesses. In 2009, the 39-year-old Hunter joined forces with the son of another powerful American figure in politics, Chris Heinz. Senator John Heinz of Pennsylvania tragically died in '91, and Chris and the family inherited much of the fortune of the Heinz Ketchup fortune, including a network of investment funds and a Pennsylvania estate, among other properties. Okay, now their mother married John Kerry of Massachusetts in '95, 4 years after the father's death. Okay, now check it out. Joining them in the Rosemont venture was Devon Archer, a longtime Heinz and Kerry friend. The three friends established a series of related LLCs. The trunk of the tree was the Rosemont Capital, the alternative investment fund of the Heinz family office. Rosemont Farm is the name of the Heinz family 90-acre estate outside of Chapel, Pennsylvania. Okay, are we getting a picture now? The small fund grew quickly, according to an email revealed as part of a Securities and Exchange Commission investigation on the entity. Rosemont described themselves as worth about $2.4 billion, small equity firm owned by Hunter Biden and Chris Heinz, with Devon Archer as managing partner. The partners attached several branches to the Rosemont Capital trunk, including Rosemont Seneca Partners, LLC, Rosemont Seneca Technology, Rosemont Realty. Okay? Wow. Now, this is where it really starts getting interesting, okay? Over the next 7 years, as both Joe Biden and John Kerry negotiated sensitive and high-stakes deals with foreign governments as our Vice President and Secretary of State, Rosemont entities secured a series of exclusive deals, often with those same foreign governments. Some of those deals they secured may remain hidden because it's a private firm, but some of them did leak out, and some of their transactions are nevertheless traceable by investigating world capital markets. A troubling pattern emerges here, showing how profitable deals were struck with foreign governments on the heels of crucial diplomatic missions carried out by powerful fathers, Vice President and Secretary of State. Often those foreign entities gain favorable policy actions with the United States government, just as the sons were securing favorable financial deals from those same entities. Oh, it gets even better. Rosemont secured forces in doing business with China with another politically connected consultancy called the Thornton Group. The Massachusetts-based firm is headed by James Bulger. Now, where does that name kick in? Okay. Oh, you talk about corruption at the highest level and investigation and who should be thrown in jail. Watch this. The Democrats are so corrupt. It's unbelievable. I'm not saying the Republicans aren't, but I'm saying right now the Democrats and all of them are so corrupt. It's unbelievable. Or a good number of them. And Republicans are too, and the dirt will come out on them at some point, because all politicians is defined as professional criminals. Now watch this. They secure Rosemont, which is Kerry, right? Son, Heinz, and Biden's son, okay? They secure a consultancy agreement with Thornton Group out of Massachusetts, headed by James Bulger, the nephew of the notorious mob hitman, James Whitey Bulger. Whitey was the leader of the Winter Hill Gang, part of the South Boston Mafia. Under indictment for 19 murders, he disappeared. He was later arrested in Santa Monica, tried, and is living a lifetime arrest in jail, convicted. James Bulger's father, Whitey's younger brother, Billy Bulger, who's in the movie that Johnny Depp was in, serves on the board of the directors of the Thornton Group. He was the longtime leader of the Massachusetts State Senate, and with the long overlap relationship by state and by party, a political ally of Massachusetts Senator John Kerry. Less than a year after opening Rosemont doors, Hunter Biden, Devon Archer were in China, having securing access at the highest levels. Thornton Group's account of the meeting on their Chinese language website was telling Chinese executives extending their warm welcome to the Thornton Group with its U.S. partner Rosemont. Unbelievable. The son of Vice President Joe Biden, Hunter Biden. The purpose of the meetings was to explore the possibility of commercial cooperation and opportunity. Come on, guys. You want to talk about absolute corruption? Do you know why Senator Biden or Senator Kerry, Secretary of State Kerry, acted like the nincompoop and with no common sense like he was? When he was Secretary of State, he's connected. The Chinese government, the Chinese largest financial bank, has got dealings with them, with Joe Biden, John Kerry, and Whitey Bulger's nephew. Today, please, while Biden is on Air Force One in 2013, he's making calls to China, making these deals before they land so he can go there first before his dad and Secretary of State Kerry show up. They and the Thornton Group and the Bank of China have a meeting, and it just so happens they're talking about the same things that the Chinese were talking about: nuclear weaponry, the exchange of products, goods, and services, the exchange of what they call something that's called, let me get this here. I'll get down. This blows me away too. They have this thing called dual-use parts. They can be used in military and in the private sector. A giant exchange with one of the Chinese state-owned military aviation contractors, Aviation Industry Corporation of China. They have been indicted. They have been targeted as the largest spy operation for military parts and plans. Why do you think their stuff looks like America? Come on, guys. Please, let's get serious. Let's find out where the real corruption is. All this stuff that Trump is trying to unfold, Obama, Clinton, Biden, Kerry, Whitey Bulger's nephew out of Boston, come on, they all entangled us in. Just do your friggin' homework. And I'm so glad that somebody finally walked the walk after they talked the talk. Matt Damon is moving to Australia because he's unhappy with Trump and he thinks he's going to be safer. Oh, yeah, sure, Matt. They took all the guns away from the people in Australia. Crime went down. But did you know that several years later now crime is higher in Australia, or about the same level as it is when they had guns? But now the people have no way of protecting themselves and they rely totally on their government? Have you seen those videos out of England when the English police show up against a guy who's a machete-wielding Islamic terrorist, and they got him the guy's running after like 12 cops, ring around the rosy of a police van because they don't have a gun to shoot the guy dead? I mean, it's hilarious. It's straight out of the Monty Python. We are living in a world of Monty Python. That's what we are doing. We're living in a world of Monty Python, and iHeartMedia is finally filed for bankruptcy. Thank God for that. Clear Channel, the worst, most communist, fascist piece of low-life corporation that destroyed the radio industry for myself and many others, bankrupted so many radio personalities and people in the business, destroyed the talent, destroyed people's lives and families for greed and wealth, and they file for bankruptcy because they can't pay their $20 billion, $140 million a month interest payments on the loans. I can't wait. I hope they file for bankruptcy, what they do, but I hope they get jacked and lose more than half. They're going to lose half of their entity, and then they get sold off and sued. That's what I hope happens to them, because this world has just completely and absolutely gone insane in the membrane. I'm telling you, it is crazy. That's right. The belly getting fatter. We are getting fatter in America. That's right. Our butts are getting bigger. Our fats are getting bigger. We are just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Poor parenting. No leadership. Man, it's just gonna make you go crazy. Like Cypress Hill. Where are we all? We have gone insane in the membrane. getting any better until we get rid of professional politicians, get absolute, real, accountable, and actionable term limits on our politicians. Tell the banks they don't own us anymore, and protest against Big Pharma, who's creating drug-crazed young people and using them and destroying the American family through prescription drugs, and have destroyed this country for amorous and their own greedy, selfish reasons. This is the problem. God bless America, and God bless Donald Trump. At least we got one guy who you might think is insane in the membrane, but he's not part of the system, and he calls it like he sees, and he's trying to rectify the stuff that has been around. Why illegal immigration? Lots of reasons why. Why? Man, I'm telling you, you just got to put it together. It's right in front of you. Open your eyes and open your ears. Or just listen to me, Jesse T. The world according to Torero. I'll get you straight on the point, and I'll get your mind out of that insane in the membrane thinking straight. The Brown Beauty's off duty. See ya!